Welcome back to the 8x22 tri-tune barrel boat houseboat with an 8x12 cabin project. After months of rain, finally able to have a couple days of nice weather. I pulled the tarp off. Got to do the painting on the canvas. I've been praying my tarp was holding up. Let's go see how the roof fared out. Just got the tarp off. Today's goal is to put more coats of paint so I can waterproof this thing without having to put the tarp on. It's a mess in here. Because I'm just tired of fighting with the tarp and waiting on weather to do anything. So if I can get the exterior painted, get my windows put in, finish up my front door, my rear door, I don't need a tarp anymore. So let's go see how that roof fared out. After being covered for over a month with a tarp with lots of rain. The roof only has one coat of thinned 25% water exterior paint. I can see right here how to leak in the tarp. That's water stains. Doesn't feel wet, but I'm gonna let the sun dry it up for a little while. And like I said, I've already got one coat of paint on here that's soaked into the canvas. So this next coat ought to come out nice. The rest of the roof's looking pretty good, with the exception of one more water stain back here. Yeah, good sized water stains. So my tarp definitely had leaks. But I'm happy. No buckles, nothing delaminating. When I say no buckles, in my plywood, I didn't notice it until after. Got a delamination of plywood here, a little bubble, a bubble here, two right here. I think I'm gonna leave it alone. What I could do is cut into the canvas with a razor knife, remove a 1/16 inch strip of wood out of the plywood, lay a bunch of glue with some wax paper, and screw a board on top and hold it down till it cures. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. I have done that here. You can actually see where I cut the plywood out underneath. Before I laid the canvas, I had a big buckle right here due to leaking tarps and rain. I mean, I can't fight Mother Nature. You know, my time to building this is limited. I will work throughout the week, and usually when I have a weekend off, it was bad weather. So when I would have a few hours of clear weather, I'd come work on it. It would have been really nice to have an indoor shop. But all my seams overlap. Everything's looking good. I believe the roof is 8x18, if I remember correctly. 18-foot roof on an 8x12 cabin. Got a little back porch area. And of course, I've got a 4-foot covered front porch, I believe 4 foot, remember correctly. And I've got 2 foot of open deck. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to work on. Getting some more paint down. Do some clean up inside the cabin, get rid of everything that's unnecessary, which is pretty much everything in there. Pick up my trash. I've got to work on this door. You know, the wood swole up on me from sitting here in the moisture. It's sticking. So what I may do to solve this is try to peel the canvas back, take the door off, and take an 1/8 inch off this outer frame. I guess I'll pass in the table saw. So here I gotta build another door. This door is kind of heavy, it's about 60 pounds. The whole framing is treated lumber. And I made it strong and solid, because I have a big opening window here to match. All 3 front windows are the same size and they're all gonna be opening. Another thing I need to do, I wanna run the engine. She's been sitting here quite a few months without running. So I may fire up the engine this afternoon or tomorrow. I'm not gonna remove anything yet. I am planning on getting spray foam on the interior. That's in the works. I have the money picked up for that. But before I do the spray foam, I would like to put her in the water, try out with the cabin. The weight, the cabin weighs, if I had to guess, about 1,000 pounds. The structure, the hull with the barrels and the engine is about 1,500 pounds. So I'm probably looking at 2,500 pounds right now. My trailer is a single axle. It's rated for 2,800 pounds max. So I think I'm gonna either upgrade an axle or convert over to a double axle, because I'm gonna be at the max length. I'm gonna be at the max weight loading for my single axle. I believe it's a 3,500 pound axle with the weight of the trailer. It has 2,800 pounds of capability left. Like I said, right now I'm guessing I'm at 2,500 pounds of weight. That is a guess. When I built this, I weighed all my studs. These are called, they're like mobile home studs. This was in mobile homes. It's smaller than a 2x4 and it's a lot lighter. I weighed a bunch of them. I weighed 5 of them, and the average weight was 2 pounds, 2 point something pounds per stud. These sheets of plywood are 25 to 35 pounds average per sheet. And I added up all my list of materials I used. I estimated I was at least 700-800 pounds of cabin structure. And then I weighed the canvas. Each canvas cloth was 15 pounds. I used quite a few of them, and I weighed the glue. So I'm close to 1,000 pounds on the structure of the cabin. And I still don't have an interior wall for the bathroom, which I may add at a later date. I'm gonna have a full bathroom. From right here, I'm gonna add the wall all the way to here. So I have room for a full-size stand-up shower and a toilet. And on this side, it's gonna be the kitchen. A 5,000 BTU window unit will be going here for when I'm on shore power, but that'll be at a later date. I do have all my shore power connections, the plugs, the sockets, the breaker box. I have everything. I still have to plan some more for electrical. I do have my interior lighting purchased. But back to the kitchen. It's gonna have a kitchen counter. It's gonna go from here. I'm thinking I'm gonna build the counter solid for 3 feet. 3 foot solid counter with a sink right here. And it's going to have a partition wall where it has to be cabinet and storage space. I do have a 20-gallon water tank. I'm going to try to squeeze underneath there. Right here in this area, I'm not going to be putting a captain's bench. I'm going to make a bench with like a rest that I can sit on. But I'm going to try to build it to where this folds down. It's going to have a bench going all the way running up to the sink. And that'll be an extra bed that one person can sleep here. And then I'm going to have a section of the countertop. If I want more counter space, I think I'm going to make a fold down leaf that comes over. Still undecided how I'm going to do that yet. And on this side in the front for the main bed is going to be, I've got a twin size futon. It'll be a sofa during the day and it's capable of folding out to a futon at night. And I forget the square footage. Maybe it's 900 square feet living area inside of an 8 by 12. I won't be living in this full time, and unless the wife and I can't work things out, then well, I guess I will be living in here. That's a different story. But always plan ahead. Have a place to live. Yeah, I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Spray foam in the walls and the floors. I'm gonna try to maybe 1 inch foam board on the floor. I would like to go 2 inch, and then I'm gonna put some 3/8 plywood on top. This thing ought to be solid. Of course, this hasn't been in the water in a while, but this is the Araco plywood. It's a pine plywood that's treated in epoxy resin, and it's epoxy glued between each laminate and layup. I had this boat in the water for 6 weeks constant, and we had a lot of bad weather, and this thing sat out there, and I haven't got one single buckle in this plywood. Down here I couldn't get marine grade plywood. This was the next closest thing. We go through a lot of hurricanes on the Gulf Coast, and this is the most popular wood choice for cabinet making because of its waterproof abilities. Because there's nothing worse than spending $40,000 on your brand new cabinets. Hurricane comes, you lose your roof. Not only do you have to tear your walls down, your cabinets are ruined, swollen, and buckled. So that was their solution for all the contractors and corporates down here, was this wood, to where you can still save the cabinets. Because down in the South, a woman's cabinets are probably the most valuable thing in her house. That's what women are most proud of. Cabinets, how it looks, the storage space, and it's just another devastating blow when you lost the interior of your house. And great, $40,000 of cabinets, which in the grand scheme, to me, the cabinets don't matter. As long as my house is still standing, that would be more important. But down here in the South, people take things differently. So yeah, that plywood held up well, still holding up well. It's called 1/2" Araco. You can I use a lot, sorry. You can look it up if you want more information about Araco, but I'm very impressed with the wood. And my console actually is built out of the same Araco. And I didn't have the cabin, this thing wasn't covered. 6 weeks out in the weather. Out of those 6 weeks, we probably had 2 weeks of pour down and 2 weeks of thick, dense, moist fog. And that's why I got mildew all over everything. This was just getting hammered constantly every morning with a fog, and it would just mildew. And 2 or 3 times I had to go come scrub the deck while this is in the water, just to keep the mildew in check, which is the problem I'm gonna have with this white exterior. I'm gonna regret it. Everything's still in there from my last trip. I even got 2 soda cans for my passengers that was with me. I need to clean up, organize. A lot of work ahead of me, but I'm very happy with the poor man's fiberglass so far. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna try to finish it. It won't be finished in a day, of course. I've got a day break between my dock building right now. I'm waiting for some materials to come in so I can move forward on a dock that I have to get built and delivered for Sunday. Today is Thursday, so I'm trying to work out, have that dock done and delivered for Thursday, because next week I have a job that's going to take me all week, probably 12 to 14 hour days next week. But the purpose of me getting on this now is I have a couple of days of sunshine. Being we are Thursday, they don't give rain until I think Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So I can leave this uncovered. I can go work at my dock, switch back and forth, come work here. My main objective, let's get this outside canvas covered. Let's be done with this poor man's fiberglass. Fix all the seals in my windows, install my windows, install my rear camper door. I've got to figure out what I'm gonna do here. I'm putting a ceiling up against here, so I'm gonna cut this canvas, I guess about an inch above my studs, because I'm putting a ceiling going all the way across. So this is all gonna be covered, but I will put a coat of paint on all this bare wood before it gets covered. I was debating on leaving it open, which I may leave it open. I am gonna spray foam my overhangs as well. I've got a 2-foot rear overhang, and I mentioned earlier 4 foot in the front. Yeah, I've got 4 foot in the front. This is gonna get sprayed with a closed cell foam as well, simply for the strength. I don't need it for the insulation value. I need it for the strength. I'm also gonna trim. All this is not glued on the top as well. I'm gonna go inch above, cut it, peel it off, paint it all. I'm probably got to remove my door to do the paint. My door swole up on me. I don't like that. You can see spots where I oversaturated with glue. Anyway, see dark spots. This is a seam. I need to do some light sanding, but I probably won't. Let's say poor man's fiberglass to make it look good. You can see all my little cotton balls in the canvas. Usually people do a first coat of paint, they come back, they sand, then they put another coat and they sand. I'm not doing all that. I would like to have the prettiest product I can make. Overall, I'm very happy with the poor man's fiberglass. Both sides were painted with a thin solution of water, a thin 25%. Again, I'm repeating, 25% water. And the paint I used was a Glidden It's called a barn and door. It's an exterior tough paint made for barns and doors. It's supposed to last about 20 years. So I caught it on sale, $20 a gallon. So far I've used 3.5 gallons, and I think I've got 3 gallons left. I went and bought 2 more gallons. So I should have enough exterior paint to finish this canvas. I'm gonna try my best to give you an update video, maybe tomorrow, when I put more coats of paint on. I think for right now, my goal is to clean up all this mess, get rid of unnecessary things I don't need. Sweeping here, I think I can pull the heater out. We still have a few nights where it'll be in the high 40s, but I don't think I'm gonna need a heater. The purpose of the heater in here was when I was laying the canvas, it would get to the high 40s at night, and I was running out of daylight because I don't have a limited an hour or two to work on this. So I'd lay my glue canvas, I come throw the heater in, lay the tarp over it, and I'd pray that this would be enough heat for the glue to dry. The glue dries down to 45 Fahrenheit. The paint was only good down to 50 Fahrenheit. So that's what was limiting me, as well as the weather and free time, on when I was able to get work done on this. But I do intend to see it finish, and I would love to see it in the water. I would love to go enjoy it, even if the interior is not finished. If I get the exterior, the poor man's fiberglass finish, and the windows finish, I've got a little bit work to do on some of my barrels, but I think I'm gonna go put her in the water, give her a test ride, and I'm gonna video that for you guys as well. I'm still uncertain if the 9.8 Tahoe is gonna be enough. It's gonna be enough motor just to cruise around in my local area, because we don't have a lot of current. We're in protected waters. It's just on windy days, no matter what motor I put on here, I'm gonna have to pick my days when I can ride. 8x12 structure is a big sail. And I've had some people on the Facebook groups comment that this is too big of a cabin. Wind's going to be a problem on top of my barrels. No matter what hull I put an 8x12 cabin on, I could put this on a 30-foot boat. An 8x12 cabin is going to be a sail. Just the hull by itself is a sail. I mean, I'm from down here in the bayou all my life. We have pirogues and canoes, and you can't ride. You can, but it's difficult to ride in a 10-mile-an-hour wind with just a canoe, because the sidewalls catch the wind, and it steers you all kind of places you don't want to go. That was part of my reasoning of making this heavy. I'm 1,500 pounds is my total weight. I have a 7-inch draft. I'm looking for a 10 to 12-inch max draft, fully loaded. So I got 1,500 pounds down low with about 1,000 pounds of cabin weight. I still have to add furniture and interior. So from here on out, it's gonna have to be lightweight. Maybe on my next one, I'm gonna go the foam route, foam and poor man's fiberglass. Keep it lighter. I kind of wanted a heavier structure, but I wanted more weight down low. And if I need more weight, I could always add water in some of the barrels. That's gonna help out. And I may add a sewage system, take the place of one of the barrels underneath. It depends on how it floats. Somewhere underneath one of the barrels may become a holding tank. Maybe not. I'm still looking to the rules and regulations on that. To buy a houseboat septic tank system, it's about $2,000, and it's about the size of a 55-gallon barrel. And I could make it fit in the place of a 55-gallon barrel. I done took measurements. I went and looked at one in person. I'm positive I can make it work. It's just $2,000 is a lot of money. This whole project, everything you see, from the barrels to the deck, the used motor, steering, controls, the cabin structure, the canvas, the paint, everything you see, I have about $5,000 invested. When I had just the hull with the motor, I want to say it was about a little over $3,000 invested. The cabin itself cost me about $1,200. And I got a few other things here and there. I did buy special tools that I included in my cost, and I did get this batch of barrels I got for free. I didn't pay for this batch of barrels. The rest of the barrels that I build my floating docks with, I've actually paid for. But this was the first batch of barrels I've ever got. I had 65 of them for free. I used 18 barrels to float and chopped up another 7 or 8 of them to make diverters on the front and the rear. If you don't know what diverters are, I'll go show you. And then I chopped up a lot of barrels to make straps to secure the barrels. This is cut from barrels, 3-inch straps. This is when I was cutting by hand with an oscillating saw. Well, now I use table saw. And I did come back, put valve stems on my barrels because my barrels were collapsing. One day they would be full, the next day the temperature would change 10 to 15 degrees cooler. My barrels were collapsing in the water. This is diverters. It's just another barrel cut. I have a wooden frame in here. I have 3 matching diverters in the front, because this is a tri-tune. They leave this 6 weeks in the water. I've done some pressure washing, but this is where my trailer bunks were. I couldn't pressure wash. But this will come off easy now. Full of barnacles. This is the bottom side. Everything still looks like the day I built it. I do have room in here to install a sewer tank. I found an RV tank that'll fit between the barrels. That's something to consider as well. I'm only gonna be spending weekends on here, with the occasional 1-week trip would be nice. She is registered in the state of Louisiana. That's a whole different hassle I made a video about. I got white paint everywhere, so I'm going to have to lightly sand and redo my blue paint. I got this blue paint. This is a 2x8, and this is my 2-inch tow rail, and my cabin fits on the inside of that. I'm going to come back when I'm done with the paint, fill this with silicone, and I'm putting a treated wood flashing all the way around. That will be silicone as well, where water cannot get in there. I do have scupper drain holes on the deck, and I left my door threshold, I think 4 or 5 inches above deck for any splash on water. It won't make it to the cabin. The front and the rear is also going to get silicone treated, a layer of silicone, and I'm putting some I guess like trim molding out of treated wood all the way around the cabin. So yeah, I've rambled long enough. If y'all stayed around for the whole video, I do thank you. And if you didn't stay around, I still thank you for viewing and taking your time. But I go again. I don't know why I do that. I'm not very good at talking on camera. I ramble a lot, which I'm doing it right now as we speak. But if you enjoy what I'm doing, you enjoy my content, then I guess the way I talk really doesn't matter. Appreciate y'all time and y'all views. I want to try to get this done. Enjoy the comments. I love people's reactions. And there's another water leak right here on the side. I'm gonna take care of all that today. Thank y'all for stopping by, and I'll see y'all on the next one.